Hey everyone, Allie here of Earthly Body again. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about pain care, right? So there's a lot we can do for pain care. And honestly, I strongly believe that everyone has a different opinion about this based on their background, education, and experience. So chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, like every single body worker, physical therapist, like anyone you can possibly imagine who does this kind of work, I honestly believe has a different theory. And let me just add in here, honestly, I really believe that you should try a little bit of everything, and then choose what works for you. Like some of this stuff gonna work for you and some of it's not. And that's okay. And also just, let me just tell you, I'd be like nerding out on body stuff, right? Like if a new client comes to me and they have like a new issue that I'm like, oh, I haven't heard of that before. Oh, that's weird. That's the usual thing that's causing that isn't. So let's go find where it is. And I go digging, right? And then if I can't find it when I'm actually doing a body session, then I will go and nerd out on that because it's so fascinating to me. Like the body is just the most fascinating thing in the world to me. It is seriously miraculous when you understand and know what the body can do. It's phenomenal. Like there's nothing more phenomenal and miraculous in my opinion. I mean, watching trees grow and plants and animals, I mean, to me life is amazing and beautiful and miraculous, but the human body is like insanely amazing. Okay, just had to splurge on that a little bit. So if we think about what it takes to take care of our body, right? There's so many things involved. There's muscle, there's fascia, there's ligaments, tendons, like so much that goes into this, right? And I'm just going over the super basics because not everybody wants to nerd out like me, which is fine. I'll nerd out for you. It's fine. If we're going to think about all the functions that the body has to do every single day, right? The fascia is involved in every single thing you do. The fascia involves your organs, it involves muscles, bones, like everything, okay? So if we're thinking about it like that, then we want to really acknowledge the fascia and just like, let's just have a moment for how amazing fascia is. Yeah, it's amazing. After thinking about how amazing fascia is, let's just consider that you're in pain, okay? There could be a million things causing it, right? And so it's really easy to say, oh, my low back hurts. Let me go ice it. Or my neck hurts. Let me go ice it or heat it. There's, in my opinion, I'm going to give you a couple of options here. And it just really depends on where you are. So I encourage you to book like a quick consultation with me. If these don't fit your circumstances, we can go in and dig into the specifics and I can assign you a pretty specific course of action for you to do if you're in acute pain. Chronic pain, honestly, the routines are going to be way more helpful than a quick consultation with me. So that's why I'm creating this app. Okay, so ideally, if you are in pain in somewhere, the first thing you want to do is find out where that's coming from. So if you're looking at muscles, right? So muscles are supposed to lay like this. They're supposed to be flat and beautiful and soft and play with each other and, you know, use each other back and forth like this. But if you do have a knot, right, you're going to think of your fascia and your tissue and your muscles. You're going to think of your tissues as bound up like this, right? So once you try to use that muscle and it tries to pull, it's going to pull from here. Ouch. Okay, now it's starting to pull on the joints and the ligaments and tendons that are the origins and the roots of that muscle come from. So if we want to get it back like this, what do we have to do? We have to undo this tension. We have to release this tension. Even if you do daily yoga and stuff, but if you have this tension, you're just stretching the ligaments and you're not necessarily getting the full stretch that you could be getting in the tissue, in the fascia, in the muscles, which could cause more damage on those joints and muscles, more stress on those joints and ligaments than if you were to relieve that tension and then do the stretching. It's a more beautiful, seamless, painless ending to that story, right? Okay, so once we've addressed the tension in the muscles, right? If we can relieve the tension in the muscles, now all of a sudden we have something to stretch, right? So we're going to be able to get much deeper into a stretch and be able to actually alleviate a lot more. So the first thing I would say is that we need to find and address where the tension is coming from in the fascia or muscles. Usually you're not going to get an injury in a ligament or tendon unless you have an extreme case scenario. Most of the time it is caused by an acute injury from youth, right? For example, when I was playing softball one time, I slid into second, and I'll never forget, it was excruciatingly painful. I got up and ended up going to third because they missed the ball. And I got to third, and I was in so much pain. Guess what? I kept running to home the next play, okay? And I thought forever that I hurt my knee. Oh my gosh, my knee hurt. I wore braces for years. And this was like in my teens, you know, and early adulthood. I became a massage therapist when I was 19. So I was pretty well versed at a young age, but I didn't really get enough experience at that time to realize what was actually happening until later. I was introduced by an amazing chiropractor who I studied under and worked under. He introduced me to fascia and how interconnected it is with all of the other tissue of the body. So once I understood that, I started to, mess around on myself and get to know my own body and how that all works. And that's when I realized that I had a huge adhesion, or a ball of tension, to put it more simply, in my IT band, which is right up along my leg. That is oftentimes will cause knee or hip pain, or hip pain. It can cause both. I easily had this for at least 10 years before I actually started to address it, now that I understood what was causing it. So now we're able to see how that tension in the fascia or muscles can cause pulling in other places. So we know that there's pain. It's usually in a joint or ligament. So neck, low back, that kind of thing, right? When we're addressing those things, it's really important not just address where we're feeling the pain, but to figure out where that is coming from. So that's why foam rolling comes so in handy. Not only can you relieve the pain, but you can find it, right? So now you can go through the body and be like, wait, okay, I'm going to foam roll everything. Just try it once. Foam roll everything. And when you come to those spots where you're like, oh, okay, that's intense. Bro, check it out. Take some time to evaluate that part of your body. If there is tension in that part of your body that is not, because you're not going to be foam rolling ligaments and joints, right? That's not what the foam roller's for. You don't use it in that way. But you now have the chance to look at those places and analyze, hey, was this from a past injury? When I fell out of that tree when I was 10, or I twisted my ankle playing soccer, or, really fell on my hip really hard when I was snowboarding, wherever it may have come from, it gives us the chance to look more deeply at the body, reconnect with it, talk to it, literally talk to it. Just ask that part of your calf, whoa, bro, where did you come from? Where you been? I didn't even know about you. Talk to it, figure it out, spend some time touching it, put your finger on it, send some love to it. And I know that sounds woo-woo. Okay, whatever. Okay, I can sound woo-woo and what? Okay. And just connect with that part of your body to find where this may have come from, how bad it really is. And then take the moment to ask it what it needs. Does it need to be stretched? Does it need to be relieved? Is there tension in this that needs to be relieved? Is it hot? Is it inflamed? Does it need ice therapy? Ask it what it needs. Now that we have an understanding of the tissue and what might be going on there, you're going to look around to find where that's coming from and work on that tissue to relieve the pain in the joints and ligaments that you're feeling them in.